Good morning, welcome to my Munro challenge, day 94. Today I'm walking route number 60, the Five Sisters of Kintail. Wow, I've been waiting 8 months to get back to do this one. So the three Munros and the Five Sisters: Sgurr na Cist Tuya, which is the peak of the dark chest; Sgurr na Carney, which is the rocky peak; and Sgurr Uran, which is peak of the spring. Very steep start, 500 meters pretty much, straight uphill, very steep. Let's get on with it. So this is the same start as we did last year when we walked the Brothers Ridge. So we're walking up to the same Bielak. So I seem to remember, very steep. We walk up to the side of that wood, skirt across ever so slightly and make our way up to that Bielak. Funny how your mind plays tricks with you, because I remember it being a lot steeper than that, and I can't remember it being as boggy. But there you go, a definite path coming up. I came up pretty much a path that almost ran parallel with the wood. Now I think last time I took a path which was slightly wider, so maybe that was it, I don't know. We're just about at the top of this wooded section. Long way to go, hell of a long way to go. Maybe it's the next bit that was super steep, but it is particularly boggy, isn't it, Stan? Eh? I suppose I ought to show the Glenshiel Ridge in all its glory. That was last September when we did that. That was a fantastic day out. Yeah, okay, it is quite steep. Still, I've been up a lot steeper recently. And ridges over there, what fabulous view. We'll be heading that way once we get to the Bielak. And I think Stan is sat up there at the Bielak. So this is Bielak. Now if you remember, that way was the Brothers Ridge, and that way is the Five Sisters of Kintail, which we're heading to now. Look at that in the background, it's definitely one of the sisters. This is going to be such a good day. Hopefully the weather will hold out. Forecast a good morning, doubtful afternoon. So we're up on the ridge. Now, I think up in the cloud over there is Sgurr na Cist Tuya. And I believe that one over there is the third Munro, which is Sgurr Uran. So somewhere in the middle, probably up in the clouds or hidden away, is Sgurr na Carney. So here we have it, the first sister is ahead, Sgurr na Spentek, sorry for pronunciation. Then behind is the first Munro, which is Sgurr na Cist Tuya. And then just peeping out in the background is Sgurr na Carney, second Munro. And then the third Munro over there is Sgurr Uran. Now the fifth sister, I believe, is the other side of Sgurr Uran. Wow, here we are, top of the first of the Five Sisters. Wow. Let's first of all look back at the ridge that we've just come across. Isn't that awesome? And there's the Brothers Ridge in the background. I think it was September last year when we walked that. If you remember, it's the first time it snowed. So we were sat in snow having our sandwiches. And I did that peak over there was the fourth one, in addition to the ridge. A bit of a killer to get to, I seem to remember. Wow. So there's the second sister and the first Munro, Sgurr na Cist Tuya. We'll drop down to the Bielak, up to the second Munro, Sgurr na Carney. Again, third Munro, Sgurr Uran. Now the fifth sister, as I said, I believe is out of sight at the minute. So that descent was a little bit scrambly. Nothing too serious, just a little bit. We're almost at the Beelach between them now. So we've got a bit of a scramble down here to the path, which you can see skirting up there, then it cuts across to the left before it hits the before we turn round and hit the summit from the other side. Here we are, Skernakist Tuya. Wow, second sister, first Munro. I've got these to come. That was hard work. Very, very rocky. Let's keep going before the bad weather comes in. You can see the ledge dropping down the ridge line all the way to the bottom. Beelach looks a bit grassier than the other one, hopefully. Rightly or wrongly, I've decided to bypass all that rock and ridge, and I'm following this grassy path, which will probably skirt round and meet the Beelach further round. So I'll drop down the green chute, as it were, and you end up traversing this very rocky boulder field all the way around to meet the Beelach round over there. Not sure there was any advantage actually taking that green path. Just showing you the descent, how rocky it's been. Once you get off that grass chute, which I took, and traverse round all them rocks, and you're dropping down all this. So I'm now on the Beelach bottom and about to ascend third Munro. Still looking very rocky. So just to confirm, it's a boulder field. I wish I had Stan's four-wheel drive. He skips up this. Here we are, Skernakani. Wow. 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 There you go. Skernakist Tuya, the first one. That's the ridge we walked along. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. That looks a bit of a slog. It certainly looks higher. That's Uran. Probably the highest one of the day. Looking at it from here. That's next. So it's becoming a bit of a theme. These rocky ascents and descents. But you know, generally the paths are quite good, I have to say. Unless you get to like a really boulder field, generally there's a reasonably good path or defined path. It's just very rocky. Like I say, very, very rocky. So that's what we've come down, and there was definite scrambles down there. So we're almost at this next Beelach, and I have to say, fabulous walk this. Despite the rockiness, absolutely thoroughly enjoying it. I have to say this one looks the steepest one of the three Munros. Oh, let's see how it pans out, shall we? So it's quite a steep path, but it's definite path, and as I said, steep and rocky. Let's have a look where we've been. Wow, that's Munro number 2. There's Munro number 1. That's the ridge we walked across, and that's the first of the sisters. So obviously this is the 4th of the sisters and the 3rd Munro. Wow, here we are, Uran. Oh, that was steep. Awesome. Look at this. Isn't this fantastic? Absolutely stunning. That's the Beelach right over there where we started. Wow. So all these hills that you can see around here I've climbed. Wow. Awesome. What do you think, Stan? Wow, look at that. Them cliffs over there. That must be the 5th sister. Again, it looks a mighty drop down there. Wow. I can see the path right down there going up to the last one of the sisters. That's awesome. So that's got to be the 5th sister. Skernang Sajil, I believe. probably got it all wrong because I haven't listened to a translation on this one, with it not being a Munro. This path has skirted the underside of what I assume is the fifth sister, but there is one at the other side. So I'm gonna double back on myself and head up here just to say I've done the five sisters. I assume that's the fifth sister. It's got to be. I'm heading up there just to make sure. Here we are, fifth sister. Definitely got caught daydreaming there. Don't know what I was thinking about. Wow. Awesome. What an awesome day. Oh dear. Right, let's get back. A long way to go yet. So that little outcrop of rock there, it's called Ben Budi, 869 metres. So we're definitely descending. So we're on this track now, which is following the burn, which will take us all the way down to the roadside. There's a track weaving steeply down the hill. I have to say the lower part of this path is much of an improvement on the upper part, which was extremely boggy, extremely rocky. It looks like they've tried to put some shale down to stop the bog, I think. Anyway, way to go yet. What a fabulous view. So not a million miles from the roadside now. Get to the bottom, we'll hang a right and head to the caravan site. Hi, welcome to day 94 of my Munro challenge. Today I walked route number 60. It's Wednesday the 1st of June. Very grateful for a lift from Simon, the steward at the Caravan and Motorhome Club site at Morvick. He took me up the road and dropped me at the car park where I could start the walk. Now if you remember, last September I tried catching a bus and wasn't allowed on because of Stanley, and the CityLink buses don't allow dogs on. So here we are, Five Sisters of Kintail. Wow, I have to say it was steep from the off. Not as steep as I remember, but definitely steep. 550 metres of ascent in a kilometre. So that shows you that it is steep. And after this point, you're going to hear a lot of me saying it was very rocky and very scrambly, because there's an awful lot of scrambling and rocky paths involved today. So you start off by climbing an undulating ridge. There's quite a few high points on this ridge before you get to sister number 1. I have to say there's fantastic views up and down Glen Shiel, and I'm looking across at the ridge and the various other mountains, and indeed the brothers. Now once you eventually get there, because quite a few high points before you get there, there's quite a tricky, rocky, scrambly descent before you climb up to sister 2, Sker na Kistuya, the first Munro. Quite a rocky climb, and I think once you're there, you're looking down at again another rocky descent. But there's a bypass that I decided to take. Now whether I did the right thing or not, I'm not sure, because you end up having to traverse and contour around on a boulder field, so you might as well just stick to the ridge, I think. But once at the Beelac again, you've got some scrambles to get down there and a scramble to get back up the other side, up to Skernakani, sister number 3, Munro number 2. It's a theme. I mean, it's very, very rocky underfoot today. The view across to, you're dwarfed by Sker Uran, the biggest Munro of the day. And you're looking across at it thinking, gosh, that looks steep. I seem to remember it was a very scrambly descent down to the Beelac, very scrambly, and the climb up Sker Uran wasn't scrambly, but it was steep and it was rocky. I think it's probably the steepest climb of the 3 Beelacs. Yeah, and you're at Skirt Uran, and you're looking across now at Sister Number 5, and you're looking down thinking, how do I get to that path? 'Cause it seems quite a long way away, down in the Belak, if you like. Very grassy and rocky, but not scrambly, this descent. But you follow the ridge line, and the path takes you all the way along. In fact, I got a bit distracted because there's fabulous cliffs underneath Sister 5, and I must have been daydreaming while following this ridge path, and before I knew it, I'd gone past, and I was I was at the other side, so I had to retrace my steps somewhat to get back up to make sure I bagged Sister 5. Even though it's not a Munro, I felt like I wanted to do all the sisters. Then you're left with a very, very long, boggy, steep, rocky, indistinct, boggy path all the way down the glen. Eventually there's a bit of maintenance on the path, probably for the stalkers, and it's not as difficult underfoot, but it was quite difficult underfoot. Absolutely awesome day. Now the day was only 10.5 miles, and I was out there 8 hours, so that shows you how tricky the terrain has been and how steep and rocky and just difficult day really, despite it being so awesome. And there was 3,419 feet of ascent. This is up there with the days you remember in the Munros.
So